Kia ora, everybody. Like many New Zealanders today, I'm angry. I'm angry at Jacinda. I'm angry at Ashley Bloomfield. They have misled us. They misled the nation. And you know what, Jacinda? Because of that, for now anyway, you have lost my vote. Yet 3 days ago, I posted, you had my vote. But the incident of the two women who have been tested as positive COVID-19 shows that right now, you're not a leader. You're a cheerleader. We don't need a cheerleader. We need a leader. There is no way those two women should have ever been able to leave where they were supposedly in managed isolation. In fact, there is no way those two women should have been able to leave Auckland Airport without being tested. The nation, you and Dr. Bloomfield, gave the impression to the nation that everyone coming into New Zealand would be quarantined and tested. And this obviously hasn't been happening. Why not? Don't pass the buck, as has been happening so often. Why not? We read all the time, you say, oh, we're inundated with numbers. I'm sorry, that doesn't wash. The end of today's paper says, oh, we got 1,800 a week arriving at the airport. Thousands. 1,800? That's 150 a day. Sorry, 250 a day. It was only recently that Minister Ian Lees-Galloway has said the reason we can't allow visa holders who are not citizens back into New Zealand is because we only have a capacity of 3,200 quarantine isolation facilities. Well, that's more than 250 a day. You have the capacity. And don't tell me you can't test them. Over the past 2 or 3 months, you've been testing up to 10,000 people a day, all around New Zealand. But you know, COVID-19 is not all around New Zealand. Where's COVID-19? Where does it come in? It comes in at Auckland bloody airport. So why don't you have your teams out there test every one of those citizens and resident holders coming in and test them? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to ask them to be honest and tell us there's no need for that. Just test them. It's only 250 a day. That's easily done. And then quarantine them. Oh, someone in my family's died. Well, look, it's a tragedy, and I'm really sorry that you've lost a parent, a brother, sister, cousin, friend. But I'm not going to let you out and roam the country and put at risk the lives of other New Zealanders. And you've given the impression, Dr. Bloomfield has given the impression, that's what's been happening. Now we find out, no, it hasn't. It hasn't been happening at all. Your Chief of Staff, Brooks Barrington, had a go at Todd Mueller. And I'm not singing Todd Mueller's praises because he hasn't filled me with any great confidence either. But Brooks Barrington says, it's not luck that we achieved 0 cases. Yes, it is. Because now we find out that you've misled us. There hasn't been any testing everyone at the airport. There hasn't been quarantining. You let people out. You know, people staying at the Crown Plaza, supposedly under quarantine, were allowed to wander around town, around K Road. You know, goodness knows breathing what. Probably hadn't been tested either. Yeah. So yes, I'm angry about that. I'm angry for the New Zealanders. Now, the headline, what you've said here, I'll read one of the headlines. You said, infected pair haven't done anything wrong, shouldn't be blamed. Well, first, the blame lies with you and Dr. Bloomfield, the people who are supposed to do their jobs, and they didn't. But the two ladies in question said they drove to Wellington from Auckland non-stop, didn't refuel. Perhaps they did. Go get the car, Jacinda. Fill it up with petrol and get someone to drive it back to Auckland. Let's see if they make it. And if they did, then I'll believe those ladies. I'm not trying to say they're liars, but this is too important not to check. Get the car, drive it back to Auckland, see if you make it on one tank of fuel. And if they didn't, then you'll know they lied. And if you do make it back, then you know they are quite probably telling the truth. And if they lied, then yeah, God knows where else they would have been. See, the thing is, Jacinda, one person can go out and infect heaps of other people. So one of those persons, what if they're working in an elderly rest home? They go in there and all of a sudden we've got another 10 or 12 deaths coming out of that rest home because you didn't do your job. You're the Prime Minister. Don't make wishful thinking and hope they'll follow your wishes. We know people won't do it. We've seen it out in the streets. You tell Dr. Bloomfield, you tell the police, you are hereby ordered by me as the bloody Prime Minister, you will quarantine everybody, you will test everybody. You need to grow a pair, Jacinda. The reason I say that is you should have fired David Clark. I find David Clark's comments today that he's frustrated with what happened. David Clark, frustrated? This is the self-entitled minister who during the lockdown wasn't at the beehive fronting up where he should have been as minister, because the three most important ministers during the COVID-19 lockdown were you, Grant Robertson, and you both fronted up every day. And as a nation, we're all pleased, proud, and grateful of that. David Clark is the third minister who should have been there. He's the Minister of Health. Where was he? Oh, he's riding his bloody bicycle around because the rules don't apply to him. He's moving house. He's going to the beach. Helen Clark would have fired that man on day one. And that man today comes out and says he's frustrated. Did he take steps to order Ashley Bloomfield, Dr. Bloomfield? You will make sure every one of those people coming off the plane is tested at the airport. You will make sure they are quarantined. You will make sure they're not allowed to wander around and possibly infect other New Zealanders. Did he do that? Of course he didn't. Get rid of the man. Get someone who can do the job. Yes, I'm angry, as are millions of other New Zealanders, because Jacinda, it's not about sitting there gaining bullets from the world, how wonderful we New Zealand have done. And we have done well, and you have done well. But you've let us down massively over this. Those two women should never have been allowed out. Those two kids who went to Hamilton, who were allowed to go to a tangi or something, and they took off. They should never have been allowed out either. There's no way I would have trusted two teenagers to do what they're supposed to do. And guess what? They didn't. They took off and put the lives of the average New Zealander at risk, especially those with health conditions. So yes, I am angry. Do your job. Order Dr. Bloomfield. If he can't do it, get rid of him. Get someone who will do it. Your own Minister Stuart Nash, yes, Stuart is properly upset and angry. But in the case, Stuart, you're the Minister of Police. You tell the Commissioner to step up and make sure these people are kept in quarantine and not running around risking the rest of us. So anyway, that's my massive grizzle for the day. It's not too late. We are still very, very lucky. But God help us, and let's hope that those two ladies haven't been the cause of infections all around the country. At the hotel, all the staff are now getting tested. Let's hope none of them are positive and have passed it on to others. Let's hope the ladies didn't pass it on to the relative that they talked to in Wellington, and that relative going to pass it on to others. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So yes, Brooks, Barrington, it is luck. And let's hope our luck stands and lasts. Because right now we sure as hell didn't deserve it. But hey, we're lucky. We are at the end of the world. We are an island. We are protected in ways other countries aren't. But Jacinda, Ashley Bloomfield, Brooks Barrington, you're not helping measures by not enforcing a rigid quarantine testing regime at the airport. As they come off the plane, you test them. And it takes a minute. You got plenty of resources to do it, and then you quarantine them for the necessary period. I'm sorry they've lost people. I'm sorry people are sick in hospital, they want to visit. But I don't want the risk of those people running around passing COVID-19 and killing people. Thanks for listening.